Bon Air Avenue in Elyria. And on the murder, assault, weapons under disability, domestic violence, the victims are Malcolm Waters and Pamela Waters at 533 Ogden Avenue in Elyria.
And Mr. Waters is deceased, is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, Madam Prosecutor, you wish to be heard on the issue of bond.
Yes, Your Honor. Beginning on the BPO matter with the victim Laura Napier. This incident took place on February 21st, 2024 at approximately 11:13 p.m. Officers were detailed to 471 Bon Air Avenue for a protection order violation complaint. Upon arrival, officers spoke with the complainant, Laura Napier. She stated that Joseph Ward was outside her home at approximately 11:10 and broke one of her side windows of her home. She is the protected party in a post-conviction no contact order, and she stated that she was inside and heard two loud bangs outside her home. She stated that she then heard glass break. She checked cameras on the exterior of her home and saw Mr. Ward standing between her house and a fence that he had banged, and that he had banged on her daughter's window. He also had broken one of the windows on the north side of the home before running away. She stated she could hear his voice on the camera, so she knew it was him by his voice alone. The camera footage was observed by police, and they saw the same as described, and the defendant was not present at the time as he had left that scene. Shortly later, approximately 11:22, a first call for service came in on Wednesday, February 24th, 2024. At 11:22, officers responded, and Detective Lesh responded at 12:13 a.m. He was called to assist in an active investigation of a homicide which had occurred at 533 Ogden Avenue in Elyria. Upon arrival, he observed Malcolm Waters, resident of 533 Ogden Avenue, laying deceased in a pool of blood in the living room. Detective Lesh and Sergeant Wise interviewed the deceased wife, Pamela Waters. She advised that there had been a noise disturbance at her residence at 533 Ogden Avenue that evening. She stated that it was caused by her granddaughter and some friends. She confronted the disturbance and it eventually dissipated. She states that then her grandson, Joseph Ward, who also resides with her at that address, began shouting at her and told the in-home nurse to quote unquote get the out, and was pointing a black handgun at her and then also at Pamela's head. He then struck her multiple times with the handgun, including in the left side of her head. She stated that she was in the fetal position to protect herself, that when she looked up, she observed Joseph holding her husband, Malcolm Waters, at gunpoint, that she exited the living room out of French doors, which exit directly outside, and ran to a neighbor's home and had them call police. She states that once police were on scene, she advised them that the entire incident should have been captured on Arlo camera systems inside the home. Detectives reviewed the footage from the camera and observed Joseph holding Malcolm at gunpoint, threatening to kill him if he was too loud. Malcolm could be seen covered in blood at this point, begging Joseph to let him sit down. Eventually, he did allow Joseph to sit down, and after attempting to shoot him several times with a firearm, he picked up a shovel and struck Malcolm in the head multiple times until Malcolm appears to lose consciousness. Malcolm sustained fatal injuries. Joseph is then seen dumping Malcolm from the chair he was sitting in onto the concrete and proceeds to drag his body back into the living room and thereafter flees through a bedroom window. Later, approximately 0400 hours, officers were detailed to 605 Abbey Road North, apartment B3 in reference to Joseph Ward showing up covered in blood and being asleep on the couch of this residence. The resident of that apartment states that she left the front door unlocked for police and that she and a friend were hiding in the bathroom while awaiting police arrival. At that point, police encountered Joseph and arrested him without incident. He was Mirandized, asked if he understood his Miranda rights, and he answered in the affirmative. He was asked if he had any knowledge or involvement in the murder of his grandfather. He informed police that he had no knowledge of it and was not involved. They stated that the entire incident had been captured on camera and that he was seen committing this crime, and he continued to refuse acknowledgement of his brutal crime. At that point, he asked for an attorney and the interview ended. The firearm that was utilized was located at the homicide scene and is currently in evidence. It should be noted that Mr. Ward is currently under indictment for weapons under disability in a case at Lorain County Municipal Court. His history includes juvenile adjudications of robbery and theft and resisting arrest from 19, an additional robbery and theft from 19, a domestic violence, aggravated menacing, resisting arrest, assault ×2, harassment of an inmate, disorderly conduct, disrupting public service, all from 20, a VPO, violation of protection order, from November of 23, and a criminal damaging charge from the same date in this court, in Judge White's court. No history of failure to
Dollar cash or surety bond on the felony 2 felonious assault involving Pamela Waters. There'll be a $2 million cash or surety bond on the felony 2 felonious assault involving Mr. Waters. I'll give him a personal bond on that one since he's getting a bond on the murder. On the felony 3 weapons while under disability, it'd be a $500,000 cash or surety bond. So in cases ending in 444, there's $4.5 million bonds. On the domestic violence misdemeanor 1, there'll be a $5,000 cash or surety bond. On the violating a protection order, there'll be a $5,000 cash or surety bond. That was $500,000, Jane, on the disability.